皆さんいろいろご心配おかけしましてありがとうございました。お疲れ様でした。
Around 9:30 p.m. on March 18, 1984, two masked men armed with a rifle and pistol broke into Katsuhisa Izaki's home. The two masked men used a stolen key obtained from the house next door to break into his house. Izaki at that time was the president of a large multinational food distribution company which distributes food to over 30 countries. Just before entering, they also entered the home next door which belonged to Izaki's mother, Yoshi. Yoshi was then tied up with a cut telephone cord, and then the two masked men made their way to Izaki's house. Upon entering the house, the two men tied up Izaki's 35-year-old wife, Mikieki, and his oldest daughter, 7-year-old Mariko. The men, after cutting some telephone lines, located Izaki. Izaki was upstairs with his two other children, 4-year-old Yukiko and 11-year-old Etsuro. Izaki was then abducted naked from his house and taken to a warehouse in Ibaraki, Osaka. 3 days after being abducted, Izaki escaped his captors from breaking free from ropes he was tied with. Izaki was unable to provide any solid information on who did it or why.
犯人グループは執拗に脅迫状を送りつけ、現金奪取を図りました。
Just a couple weeks later, several vehicles at Izaki Glico's headquarters were set on fire, and on April 16, 1984, a container filled with hydrofluoric acid was discovered in Ibaraki, Osaka, inside the Glico Company building, the same city Izaki was kidnapped in. On April 8, 1984, police received a letter by the monster with 21 faces, saying, quote, "Are you stupid? There are so many of you. What on earth are you doing? If you are real pros, try catching me. There's too much handicap, so I will give you a hint. Car I used is gray. Food was bought at Dai. If you want new info, beg for it in the newspaper. After telling you all this, you should be able to catch me. If you don't, you are tax thieves. Shall I kidnap the head director of the prefectural police?" Meanwhile, 21 was sending letters to the media where one said, quote, "Dear dumb police officers, don't tell a lie. All crimes begin with a lie, as we say in Japan. Don't you know that?" On April 23rd, 21 sent more letters to Sankai and Mainichi newspaper as well as the Koichen police station, stating, "To police fools, you shouldn't lie. If you lie, you steal. You guys are having such a hard time, so I will give you a hint. I enter the factory from the staff side entrance. The typewriter we used is pan writer. The plastic container used is a piece of street garbage." 21 sent their first letter on May 10th following the kidnappings. The letter stated it laced $21 million worth of the company's confections with potassium cyanide soda. They later threatened to put all their products on shelves. None of the Glico products were ever found, but all Glico products were removed from stores, having Glico to lose $20 million, 450 part-time workers. At the end of this ordeal, Glico lost a total of $130 million in sales. On June 26, 21 sent their final message proclaiming their forgiveness of Glico. After being done with Glico, 21 then targeted the direction to other companies such as Morinaga, Marudai Ham, and House Food Corporation. On October 1984, 21 sent out a letter to Osaka News addressed to Moms of the Nation. The letter stated 20 packages of Morinaga candy had been laced with deadly sodium cyanide. After this, police searched stores and found over a dozen lethal packages of Morinaga's products. The products that were found out to be laced were Choco Balls and Angel Pie. Oddly enough, the packages had flashy labels on them such as "Danger, contains toxins." More products were found in February of 1985, totaling at 21 deadly products. On November 1st, 1984, a letter from 21 arrived at Mitsuyo Yamada's house, the vice president of Morinaga Dairy. The letter read as follows, Quote, to President, you saw our power, didn't you? If you disobey us, we will destroy your company. You will get killed. Tell us in the Mainichi newspaper on either the 5th or 6th of November. Use the missing persons. Use these words in the reply. Jiro, Morinaga, mother, police, bad friend, money, meal. As we said before, we want 200 million yen. Monster with 21 faces. Knowingly enough, Morinaga responded on November 6 by placing an ad in Mainichi's newspaper morning edition stating, Dear Jiro, bad friend disappeared. Come back, warm meal is waiting. Mother Chiyoko. Following the announcement, Morinaga forced their production to halt by 90%. In August 1985, police superintendent of the Shiga prefecture, Yamamoto, died by suicide via self-immolation due to being not able to catch 21. 5 days after, on August 12, 21 sent their final message. The message read, quote, Yamamoto of Shiga Prefecture Police died. How stupid of him. We got no friends or secret hiding places in Shiga. It's Yoshino or Shikara who should have died. What have they been doing for as long as 1 year and 5 months? Don't let bad guys like us get away with it. There are many more fools who want to copy us. No career. Yamamoto died like a man. So we decided to give our condolence. We decided to forget about torturing food-making companies. If anyone blackmails any of the food-making companies, it is not us, but someone copying us. We are bad guys. That means we've got more to do other than bullying companies. It's fun to lead a bad man's life. Monster with 21 faces. After this, 21 was never heard of again, where all the statute of limitations were dropped. Approximately over 1 million officers worked on the case, having more than 28,000 tips and 125,000 people of interest.
毒物の混入が現実となるに及んで、捜査当局は毒入りの菓子が置かれた店で記録された不審な男のビデオを公開しました。
早期逮捕、事件の解決を目指して全所帯事業所に対して特別巡回連絡を実施いたします。
Following the threats and withdrawal from the Glico products, a man wearing a Yomiuri Giants baseball hat was captured by CCTV cameras placing Glico products on shelves. The footage was then released to the public, but it is unknown if he was a man with 21 faces or even an accomplice. On June 28, 1984, exactly 2 days after 21 subsequently agreed to stop harassing Marudai Ham, police came close to capturing the suspected mastermind. 21 pleaded that they wanted 50 million yen in order for them to actually stop harassing them. This is where police came into play. An investigator disguised himself as an employee of Marudai Ham, where he then went up to meet with 21. As he was riding the train, the investigator noticed he was being watched by a suspicious man. This man was described to be, quote, a large, well-built man, wearing sunglasses with short and permed hair. It was also stated that he had eyes like those of a fox. Investigators then trailed him from train to train, where the fox-eyed man then eluded them. A similar incident happened later on, where police encountered the same fox-eyed man, where he was accompanying the 21 group to another secret money exchange. Once again, he then eluded police. It is still unknown whether who did the harassing, or rather why. To this day, this remains a very large unsolved mystery. At first, when Izaki was kidnapped, his wife pleaded to give them money, where the two men said, "Be quiet, money is irrelevant." It could be that these men were just pawns for the monster with 21 faces, or it was just a matter of time where 21 realized how much power they had in their hands from using then using said power to get what they really wanted.